Hello and welcome. If you're here, you're probably someone who is looking for a shortcut on how to dance because you don't know a whole lot about dancing, or you're just curious as to how we're going to explain how to fake it at dancing.
Yeah.
But first, we got to thank two very special people. Thank you so much, Philip from Olympia.
Yay!
That's the title he wanted me to give him. So there you
Exactly.
go, sir.
Love it.
And then thank you, Ruth Buckland, both for your donations. So, faking it at dancing. Let's start with the first few rules. First
Cool.
one's confidence. If you don't look confident, nobody's going to believe that you're confident, and you're going to look worse than you actually do. So just believe in yourself, and that's rule number one. Rule number two, dancing's not that hard. You don't have to be a master dancer to get on the floor and dance. You just have to move something kind of close to on time.
Move an arm and a foot. See how that goes.
And rule number three, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah.
What we're going to do here is give you guys some basic footwork. We're going to talk about leading and following and really try to make this as approachable as possible so you can get started on your dancing, or at least be able to salvage that wedding dance that you have to do, or if grandma asks you to dance, being able to survive 3.5 minutes so you can go cry in the corner later. But yeah, let's go and get started. So here's the ultimate starter step for I think every single person. It's just a step hold. It'll get you through most slow dances, Lady in Red, all those kind of songs.
Yeah.
This is how to work. So you can start on either your left foot, you can start on count 1 or count 2, but really all that you have to do is step on a count and then hold the following count. And then you step on a count and hold the following count. So it'll just go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you want it to look nice, you can let it sort of brush and brush and brush. If you want it to look a little bit more poppy, you can give it a little stank. Bump, doom, bump, 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 bump. It's kind of up to you. You can add hips, not add hips, but really all that you need to do when dancing with someone who's taking you by surprise, instead of saying, "Oh, I don't dance," go like, "Okay," and then just rock the yeah.
Nice.
If you're on time, you're probably better than 97% of the people on that dance floor anyway.
And 100% of the people not on the dance floor.
Yeah, exactly. If you get so ambitious, you can circle it around. Bump, da bump, da bump, da bump. Also something to be covered. If you're leading, I like to approach with my left hand, and then depending on that person's comfort level, I kind of gauge how close they want to be. If they're coming in close, I'm genuinely pretty amiable, and we'll rock it like this. But the left hand is what you hold on to, and the right hand stays on the back. If you want a more informal look, this left hand can go lower, and the right hand can go lower. If you want it to be more formal, say we're at a wedding, fancy tuxes and ties, you can put it up on the shoulder blade and just lift it, and basically pretend to be a fancy prince or princess.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that Joel's talking about here with kind of the presenting of the left hand, we're going to appeal to the human side of the other person. You don't need to know how to dance to do this. If Joel holds out a hand, I'm generally going to use my hand to attach myself to it. And then if his right hand is just kind of open, I'm like, oh yeah, I can come in. Or maybe I'm not as comfortable, right? So maybe the hand's here and his hand comes out and I just, put my hand in it. I'm like, okay, cool, sweet. So I can base how close I want to be just based upon where I put my body into the frame that Joel set up.
Right, if I'm super nervous and I'm dancing with someone that makes me nervous for one reason or another, like they're talking a lot or I'm talking or whatever, I can kind of hold two ideas at once as I'm talking and moving. And that's really all that you need. And if you can even draw that into a little circle, boom.
Oh yeah.
You are the belle of the ball.
Everybody's though.
Now say follows,
Yeah.
are I was mostly referring to the leads if they're brand new at this. What are some things that follows can do in this scenario if they are not necessarily totally comfortable with dancing?
Sure. Big thing is if you're nervous that somebody's going to expect too much from you, you can always use your words and say, hey, I've not really danced before, let's just keep this chill. Or Please don't dip me. Maybe you're not ready for that sort of thing. That's totally fine. Using your words is always, always appreciated. It gives everybody a basis to go from. But then, on the kind of extreme, if you're really not confident that this person isn't going to throw you around, you can always just say no.
Always say no.
Yeah.
There's you don't need to justify yourself to anyone out there, whether you're male, female, lead, follow. You can always just say no for any reason,
right.
And nobody should expect you to explain as to why.
Right, and kind of as a rule of thumb, if I start feeling a little socially bullied, I probably made the right decision to be like, no thanks.
Right.
If they're like, hey, come on, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I made the right decision.
But we're mostly referring to people who would like to dance,
sure.
nervous about it, and are comfortable with that person, and all those basic ideas are met. But definitely stating your expectations is not unheard of on the social dance floor.
Right. So especially for follows, number one, state your expectations, and don't lie to yourself. Right. Be honest with yourself and with other people. Number two is when you're out there, whether we're dancing closed or open, all I'm really focusing on is where the body is shifting. So I'm
shifted like
this.
Oh, sure,
yeah.
So I get it from the follow's perspective.
So I'm following the weight changes of the leader. Now I don't have to do this. This is a great place to start. If we're just rocking out and like dancing kind of around each other, this isn't important. But if we're going nice and slow and say the leader's rotating, I'm just going to focus on where the body is positioned. It's very similar to like in high school. You might be familiar with this one, right?
Nothing wrong with this.
Nothing wrong with this. I'm just following the back and forth. So that's the biggest key to staying with your partner.
And leaders, make sure that this is something I see all the time, and I might be going a little too far into just shifting our weight back and forth. But so often when I get students who are first starting to dance, and I'm showing them this figure, the leaders will commonly favor this left side, and they'll try to scoot it around.
Yeah, it's the polka or something.
So when I move into this, I push off of my right foot to move to my left foot. I completely change weight, and then I pick a new direction for my right foot. So I'm evenly stepping between these feet versus either like pushing my left foot through or like pulling my right foot back. The biggest thing is you just want to put your belly button over the foot so follow can feel where you're moving. And if the follow can feel where you're moving and they feel like you're making decisions, it doesn't really matter how fancy you are as long as decisions are being made and they're comfortable.
Right. I would say kind of the second point for leaders to focus on, other than changing your weight, establishing the shape that we're going to make, keep it slow and chill and easy until we feel comfortable maybe throwing in some fancier stuff. You don't know necessarily how this person moves. You don't know how they dance or if they've ever danced before. I mean, if you're out there dancing with grandma, right, you're not going to throw her around. So take that same care in everybody that you dance with. So just take it chill until it's like, sweet, we're really meshing, we're having a good time.
We're kind of the opinion that steps made on time automatically counts as dancing.
Yeah, you're moving to music, right? You're dancing.
Right, that's the caliber it takes to be a dancer. Can you be off time and be dancing? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that you can't be. That's a bit of a blanket statement.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you are on time and you're just stepping back and forth, you are definitely dancing.
And it's gonna look better, and it's gonna feel better, because what we're doing is we're hearing the music and we're feeling the motion, and so we're using both ideas to make a complete movement. So we're going, oh, cool. Here's where the leader wants me to step, and I hear it in the music. It's going to be a lot easier to convince your follow to do that.
Now let's talk about turns. Say we're using this pattern, which we're just going to call a step hold pattern.
Cool.
4 counts long. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anytime I put a move in there, I'm going to stick to that pattern. And also keep in mind that we're keeping everything with our bodies very vanilla, very bland. We're not trying to make waves or impress. We're trying to blend in for 3.5 minutes.
Right. Depending on how you feel, the further into the night, you can start to not blend in as much as you want. That's great.
So the first thing to think about with turns, and I would highly recommend if you've never danced before, ask any friend who you're comfortable with who is nice to you.
Yes.
And just ask if you can try a few moves on them, because it's certainly a good idea to, just like us as dancers, we practice in the studio and then take it onto the floor. We practice in your living room with whoever, and then try doing some moves on each other. So the thing I send a lot of students through with turns is I just lift a hand and then I pick a direction.
Cool.
And maybe I try the opposite direction. Then I pick a different hand. I pick a direction. Then I pick another direction.
Right.
I could switch hands. Or I can even try getting sassy enough to do two hands.
Whoa!
Cool. So once you've done that, go ahead and pause the video now. Practice that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've done that, come back. And then we're going to move on to this next section, which is keeping the same footwork that we had when we were just stepping and holding.
Cool.
So if I'm just stepping and holding, and I can take as long as I want through turns. So often people go, I got to do a ton of turns.
And fast.
And fast.
Right.
If we're just chilling, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe try the other hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I can try my own hand.
Oh,
1,
nice.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You might be wondering, say we're here. It's easiest to do something with my left than my right, but I can always let go and start turning, or I can just turn into it and then end in open position. And basically what'll happen is we can just party all night. However, I mean, this is a perfectly good dance. No matter if I was just at a bar and some stranger was like, "Hey Joe, you want to dance?" I'd be like, "Cool."
Sweet.
And we did that, I'd be like, "Oh, hell yeah."
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And even if we're out dancing, and I mean, most of the time you start with something like this anyway. But I mean, we're not starting with like swing out, right? We're doing kind of step holds, getting the feel of the music, getting the feel of the timing, the feel of the other person, and then we start into our dance anyway. So this is a perfectly normal thing that professional dancers do.
Now, some of you may be recognizing some of the things that we're doing. You would be right in saying that a lot of this is pulled from blues-inspired ideas.
Sure.
But I'm not binding myself to just blues technique. I'm letting this be a little bit more adaptable.
Right.
And just, particularly right now, just real vanilla, real plain, so that I can put whatever toppings I need to given the style of music.
Yeah.
This is also, I mean, this was a big strategy of mine when all I really did was a lot of Lindy Hop, and I would hear, and before I got any understanding of West Coast swing, this is what I would be rocking when I'm just at a party. Because it's just this all day. Because I can't embarrass myself when I'm doing this.
It's true.
Yeah, I can just, even if I'm just in the corner by myself, this is not a bad time.
Having a good time. Yeah. One note about the turns, especially depending on follows your shoes, your whatever you're wearing, or maybe the floor. Maybe the hand is moving a little faster than like the slitness of your shoes will allow you to move. So instead of trying to always stick to that step hold, if you feel like you need to move faster, you can just walk it out. Take as many steps as you need to in the shape that you're given to get through the turn comfortably without tripping over whatever. So say Joel's doing his step hold and maybe he does a little bit faster turn with the hand. Instead of trying to fight it, you do the same thing. Instead of trying to like fight it and like, oh no, I'm still trying to move, where my hand is getting behind me, I'm just gonna walk it out faster. Totally cool.
Now, stuff will happen. Mistakes will be made.
For sure.
And leaders, if you get in a place where you're just not sure which footer you want, just pick a foot and hang there until the follow joins you.
Yeah.
So it would look something like this. I'd be going, and then all of a sudden, what's happening? This is crazy. Okay, I'm just gonna hang here. And I just hang here for 2 counts at a time until the follow joins me. It looks kind of like this. I'm going bump, 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 bump. Oh no, I messed up. Do.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh no, wait.
Oh,
Yeah, cool. And I'll just get back with them by just hanging out on one foot.
Right. There's lots of times where the dance floor will kind of come in contact with your dance. So if you're at a bar, people are walking through, maybe there's a cocktail waitress or whatever, you have to move out of the way. So of course you're not going to keep doing the same thing right in the middle. You might move. So if we need to regroup, totally fine. Somebody bumps into you, hey, sorry, cool. Go right back to your 1, 2, 1, 2, and start back again.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing I could also do is if the follow gets off and I'm just staying locked into my thing, the follow can get back on eventually. I'm not really leading Steph real heavily at this point,
right.
but like say we turn,
oh.
and I just keep on with this and I go, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. And you just join back together.
Right.
Okay, so sometimes we have to make it look like we're actually being kind of formal and actually doing a level of footwork.
Right.
I feel like the only footwork that anyone should be required to know is probably a box.
This will get you through your waltz, through your foxtrot, pretty much through any other
rumba,
any other type of music. If you use a box, you can do anything.
We did a box in a Balboa video not too long ago.
Also.
So this is what the box is. You've never done a box before. You're going to step forward with your left, step to the right, and then bring your feet together and change weight. Then move back with your right foot. Step to your left, bring your right foot together and change weight. So we're going to step forward, step to the right, change weight, step back with the right, move to the left, bring your right foot together and change weight. Step, side, close, step, side, close. Now there's some videos we put out that talked about time signatures. The big ones that we talked about were 3/4 and 4/4. Check those out under our musicality.
Rhythm and timing section.
Rhythm and timing, yeah. So in 3/4, our box is going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Sounds like a waltz, is a waltz.
In our 4/4, it's going to go slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. So 2 of those steps are going to be longer than the other ones. We're going to start with the 3/4 timing of the box. So we'll be going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Changing your weight every single step.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you've done waltz before, you'll notice that we're not doing rise and fall. That's because we're trying to fake it, and that's our audience. So when we talk about rise and fall, this is just what it looks like if you ever hear about it. We'll go down 1, rise up, 2, 3, down, 2, 3, down, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. It's not required for faking it to a waltz song.
Also, if you're dancing with somebody who doesn't know how to waltz, that will make them very nervous.
Yeah, you'll be bobbing up and down and they'll be stuck there. So when we dance this together, it's just going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The difference between 4/4 is we're dealing with 8 counts instead of 6 counts in the box, and that's going to look like this. It's going to go slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same application when I'm dancing with a partner. 1, 2, side together. 1, 2, side together. 1, 2, side together. 1,
That's
2,
lovely.
side together. You could just rock that for 3.5 minutes and be fine. They'll be impressed that you know a box.
Yeah. A couple things just to note. We are offset, so leader's left foot is to the outside, followers left foot is also to the outside.
Pretty much all the time we're dancing.
Right. When we're doing the box, leaders step forward with their left, followers step back with the right. It's the same footwork, we're just on different halves. And because our feet are not right on top of each other, right, they're out of the way, we've got this little path. When the leader moves, they won't step on the follow.
Right. A couple things when we're doing this sort of footwork and you might be dancing with someone who doesn't know it. I would say err on the side of a slightly firmer frame versus a real loose frame. Though we say do whatever frame you're most comfortable with.
And adapt and all that kind of stuff.
But if I kind of keep a firmer frame, I can kind of keep us more together.
Right.
And I just don't want to overwhelm the follow with too much force.
Right. And when Joel's talking about a firm frame, it's not that it's a push or a pull or an encroachment, right, into the follow space, but just keeping everything so that it doesn't move outside of like the direction you're going. Right. So your arms are not independently.
It's just consistent.
Right. Same thing for follows, right? I don't want to just like let everything hang. I can do that if I know what I'm doing, but if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm gonna keep a little bit firmer, more consistent frame so I know what's going on.
A note for the followers, don't try when you're dancing to push back or pull on your leader. Just try to rest and wait for the signal, and that usually will help you out more so than moving yourself around a bunch, because then the lead can't lead you at all.
Right, right. If we're feeling nervous, or if we're having trouble not treading on each other's feet, give ourselves a little space, right? There's nothing wrong with being open and doing your box or just swaying. That's totally fine. We don't have to be super close to each other to get the same result. Once we're comfortable, we can relax in a little bit more. But if you're feeling nervous, give it that space.
Thank you so much for joining us for this. Let us know what you think. Maybe share this with some of your non-dance friends, and as a way to get them maybe interested in dancing.
Yeah.
The one thing I really want to be specific on is we're not saying that you shouldn't work on becoming a better dancer, or that if you're interested once, this is where that stops. This is simply an introduction or a setting off point to get people to start dancing, so that hopefully they can grow, work on their technique and their other ideas.
Right. As we know, dancing can be a very scary thing. So if you don't even have a place to start, and especially at a time like this, if you don't have somebody helping you out going, hey, this is okay, also this is okay, we're just going to be stuck in the mud. So this is just like Joel said, just a starting off point.
I really feel like too many people make dancing way too exclusive and unapproachable, so that it makes people fearful and afraid of dancing even.
Not good.
I feel like everybody should have the opportunity to dance, and they should be welcome to have a slice of that dance floor, no matter how many people that are on that floor, or how good or how bad they are. Maybe not bad, how
New.
not skilled or new. Yeah. No matter how new they are at dancing, I feel like everybody's welcome to have a piece of that. And if you want to see more Faking It videos, we would love to keep making these. These are really fun topics for us, how to just strip away the ideas that we've imposed onto dancing and really make it easy for us to dance with another human being.
Right. I think the coolest thing about learning how to fake it is we are, in fact, learning the base elements of dancing, whether we're leading, we're following, just dancing by ourselves. These are the things that are harder to work on when you put a filter on top of it. So this is a great place to start. And you never actually go away from these ideas. We just make it look slightly different.
If you like what we're doing, go ahead and check out this link below. Show us some support. Like, share the video. We really appreciate you all tuning in throughout these past few months. I hope everybody's staying safe.